Hi there, it's Simone. Today I would like to show you my planner, and I am only going to talk about my planner because I'm in a tiny dilemma and I think it's going to take all the time that I have for this video. I am currently using an A6 Stalogy half-year notebook with a Hobonichi weekly supplement that I keep in this Hobonichi cover with a cover-on-cover. This was in the recent Hobonichi 2022 release. And I do not like the pen loops. I have in recent years cut them out. And I let them in here to try and see if I would enjoy them or if they would soften up. So far, I can tell you I still don't like them, and I especially don't like how crooked my pen is in here. I know that shouldn't bother me at all, but it does. This planner looks a bit roughed up around the edges currently, because I have organized some of my stuff and put everything that should be in my collections insert. All of these are papers that should be in here into the planner in the hopes that maybe I would deal with this mess. So far, it hasn't happened. This was previously a B6 slim size, or let's put it this way, it was an A5 size Hobonichi Tomoe River paper insert that I had previously used for something else. There were several pages left, and I decided for collections that would stay for a very long time, like a perpetual birthday calendar, I would use this. It has enough pages to give me the most important information, and I started from the bottom up, and so I knew that if I was going to change sizes or it needed to be cut down even further, I would be able to. You can see the month still goes in here. Everything is still visible, and so I just cut it down more so it would fit in here. I'm currently, as I said, I do have some planner problems, maybe something major, I don't know yet, and so I haven't really tackled any of this. I don't decorate these front pockets. The only reason why the sticker and this sticker is in here and the other two stickers are here is so that I can show them to you in this video and tell you that if you like them and if you want one of them or all of them, they are in my Ko-fi shop, and you can just hop on over there and put them in your cart and check out, and I'll send them over. That is the only reason why they're here. It doesn't seem to work. Maybe the only person who is in love with my art is me. Could be. Failed artist right there. It's okay. I use the pocket for this stencil. It's a Hobonichi stencil. I use it for this checkbox right here. And then also in the last few months, I used the ruler side to underline the day of the week that I write by hand. I had it at the end of last year. I printed these monthly calendars on sticker paper because I wanted to use them in my planner. I used it last month, I think, maybe also in October, maybe even in September on my money stuff page. But to be honest, does it really matter what day I am purchasing something? I am not going to go back looking at the date, seeing what happened then to psychoanalyze my spending behavior. I know that I don't want to spend. And, well, that's not true. I want to spend my money intentionally and not fall for fear of missing out, FOMO purchases, or anything that I don't need, just want for one or more reasons. It doesn't really matter what the reason is why I buy something that I don't necessarily need, but I don't need this. So I decided, no, I am not going to use those anymore. So the front pockets are not decorated. What else? Used for the stencil and showing the stickers. Ko-fi page right there. You should check it out. And then all of those papers need to go somewhere. I'm not 100% sure they will go in here though. It's about what I should be cleaning. And then a trigger list, and then some of the older lists from the start of the year when I thought like present ideas and stuff like that, that I should be transferring someplace. I put on this cover page, I put these butterflies by Brandy Kincaid. And then let's dig into the October, because this is the October review. I have tipped in this cover page because I didn't leave space for one, and I actually do really like how 1 month ends and I'm starting a month fresh. So I had one for August, I had one for July. Nothing fancy. I'm not like throwing myself out there with the decorating. That's just a washi tape, the month, washi tape, some cut apart sheet, and then the month. Nothing in September. But then in October, I just went through my papers and I found this. I didn't make this at this specific time. I used it when I made collages and colored them with watercolor and pencil and needed to test the different colors as a paper underneath, so I wouldn't color my table. And I really loved how this looked, and so I cut it out and put it in here. This is from a printable that I also have in my coffee shop. This I made last year, layered them up, like how this looks, and that's the cover page. Underneath, or right there, was my yoga with Adrian schedule that I did really well in the beginning. Then we fizzled out on the weekends, and then even more towards the end of the month. So the monthly. I did not take the time to set it up. Well, I set it up, but I did not take the time to fill it out. And you can clearly see that I also did not take the time to make a proper September review and start a monthly to-do list for October. And when I wrote down, took notes on what to talk about for this video, I realized, you know what? The reason for that was that I still had to send out my September happy mail for Ko-fi, and I just didn't have the time to properly reflect on September, and so there is no October to-do list. I actually changed my membership tiers on Ko-fi so that this wouldn't happen again. And it is November 1st. Today, as I'm filming this, I do have a November to-do list. Yay! So what I started doing at the end of the month, when I started back with Happy Mail. This is a little bit excessive for sure. And it's not the goal to replicate this every month. I just enjoyed being able to just send Happy Mail because I wanted to send Happy Mail. And there's that. I usually, in my Happy Mail tracker, I put down what I sent out and what I receive. And my goal is to, even with shop purchases, to send out more than I get in. I definitely succeeded in October. I had decided that October was a no-spend month. Lol, actually, no spend month, my ass. I had done some shopping in September that I was still waiting on. I made a want to buy list, and I did not buy any of the things that are on the want to buy list, but I purchased other things. I purchased 5 different items, or placed 5 different orders. The money that I spent wasn't that excessive, but for a no spend month, it definitely was more than I had in mind. And as a tangent, and maybe I am going to talk about this in another video a bit more, I know the struggle, or it work when I say I'm not going to buy something and I really stick to that. It's a lot easier when you know I'm not going to buy this and that's it then, because then you know you cannot buy. But so I don't actually really want to make no spend months. I don't want to deprive myself from spending money intentionally. What I really want is not to buy things because I think I am missing out, because other people have this and I want it too. I want to buy things that work for me, that bring me joy, that I use, that do not burden myself or burden me, meaning that I'm not spending over my budget, meaning that I am not buying things, for instance, stickers, when I have 200 stickers in my stash that I should be using, want to be using, and then I'm bringing them in and making myself feel guilty for not using items that I already have in my stash. I want to know or notice what is it that I am enjoying, that is bringing me joy. Which of these do I really need? 20 million notebooks? Do I really need 100,000 washi tapes? And also find solutions. What if I like a washi tape, but it has 10 meters on the roll? How can I use that roll up without it blocking my space and my mind? That's the goal. And not the do not spend money. Why shouldn't I spend money if I have the money and if the item that comes in brings me joy? If you know what I mean. So that's about the shopping. That's as much as I'm going to talk about right now. In the weekly supplement from Hobonichi, I visualize the time that I have to invest in work, driving, appointments, all of those things. I don't necessarily visualize how much time I spent on coffee and all of those things. Maybe I should start doing that more. An ideal week looks like this. I have my work schedule in here. I have, or times that I'm spending outside of the house. I have my kids' activities here where I am more or less needed to drive. I have my meal plan, what we will have for dinner up here, so I can just have it in the back of my mind to know, oh, this is something that is time consuming, so I need to start working on this, or I'm busy in the afternoon, maybe I should cook in the morning and just reheat, stuff like that. And then I pencil in how I'm spending the leftover time that is for other things that I want to do. The first 2 weeks look like this. I was really good with the meals up here. Yeah, so I put this down in here with pencil because, plans can change, and it just helps me keep the visualization more visible than the plans, because they can change. That's October. This is this week. And when I'm when I visualized, looked at this, and know what is happening in the week, then I go into my back here. I start with the next open page, and I put a weekly to-do list here, put down what needs to get done during the week, and then I start with nothing. So here, obviously, I did not have any time for daily pages. I think I still worked on sending Ko-fi mail, and so nothing I did, or actually I did nothing until that was done. Once I had sent it out, I went back, I worked on all this, but by that time, like the title page, I think I was talking about this. It was already the 8th of October. And that's not a good way to start a month, even though it's not necessarily a fresh start. I mean, your life doesn't end on September 30th and starts fresh on October 1st. For me, it's always a time to reflect. And that's pretty cool. What did I just say? Yeah, so it's always a good time to reflect, see if you're still on the right track to go and do all the things that you had planned to do. Week 41 didn't look like I had a to-do list here, but I did have items on my days. What I did this last month and what I really enjoyed and wanted to replicate in November was where is it? Here. When I was still doing Ko-fi printables and Happy Mail, I had these date stickers made. And then I printed them and put them on something sticky so I could stick them in. I did this all in the beginning before I even started the month. So I'd made these so I would just have them like this and could take them off and stick them in as I went. So I have this whole month in the same layout. I use a black pen for to-dos and blue ink for ideas, notes, memories. I made a list when I started organizing all of my creative stuff. So I made a list on what I wanted to do for that organization project. And then I went back in and continued. This is the next week, new to-do list here, then all the days. Then I started sending Happy Mail. Again, I made a list here. This has been processed. That's why there is a star. Here's more days. And then I have a list of Happy Mail that I sent out. I put down what I sent them so that I would remember what I had included. So if I was going to send another Happy Mail, I wouldn't include the exact same items again. Then I have the next day and then another list. And then I have some notes that are private. And then we are in the last week of October, which was week 43, my to-do list. Here's my notes for that week. Here's another Happy Mail list. And then here is the rest of that week. I have another Happy Mail. What did I send these people? And then I have another cover sheet for November. And then we go into November. So this is how my planner looks like right now. I just reviewed the Ink Flight box from Ink Journal. That video published on this past is the next video. I'm just gonna link it up here in the cards. But in that box, they included this notepad. And first I thought, what am I going to do with this? I tested the paper. It felt really nice. It did not bleed through at all. And then I had it laying around next to me. And I noticed how awesome this works for to-dos. I can put this next to a book I'm reading, or if I'm writing in a planner, in a journal, if I am working on the computer and answering comments, I'm working on Ko-fi. Whatever I'm doing, I can keep this right next to me. I can keep a pen with it. And I can just make a long list. And it was so cool. And I realized that that's exactly what doesn't really work with this planner. It doesn't really matter if it's big or small. I still have to open it. It still needs to be there. I still need to take the time to open this up, put down the note, and then often when I'm done with this day, maybe I have to write that to-do item again, and that is pretty redundant. And it's also, it just feels like I am missing so many things that I want to take down, want to write down, but I just don't because my planner is not as accessible. Then with this, you can see I have filled all of these pages so far, and there's so many more notes than I used to have in the other in this notebook. So this works. Now the idea or the question is, how am I going to incorporate this into my current planner system or planning system? This is the one thing, taking down all of the ideas. Often it's ideas, not necessarily to-dos or things that I want to do at some point, but maybe not today. That's what this list is perfect for. How do I incorporate this? With this, the problem that I encounter here, as with many other vertical planners, because my handwriting, as you can see, this is a to-do list, to-do item. If I write this into this space, it's full. And it doesn't really matter what size it is. Even a standard vertical weekly doesn't work with my handwriting. So this is most important for me to visualize how much time I have at home, how much time I have to work on house chores, how much time I have to spend on my hobby and on Ko-fi and on YouTube. And so it's not necessarily meant to allot specific days to specific tasks. But if I am using this format right here, then if I want to do a certain task on Wednesday and I'm on Monday, I would need to allot this much time, space, this much. Is it going to be here? Is it going to be there? How much space do I need? On Monday, Wednesday isn't there yet. So where do I put the task that I allot to Wednesday? I didn't really have that problem much. But recently with starting this, I have encountered the problem that I want to do a certain task on a specific day and I don't have enough space anywhere to put that down. So, I had the idea to just move into, or the idea to spend money and move into the Travelers Company horizontal weekly. And that looks very similar to this layout. It has all of the 7 days of the week on the left side and then a big grid space on the right side for to-do lists. There is enough space for me to fill this with to-do lists, maybe even take some other notes. But since the Traveler's Company is already pre-printed, there is no space in that notebook for lists, all the things that I put in here. And so the question is that the right thing? So I would, if I purchased that notebook or insert, then if I want to use a monthly layout, I would have to have an insert that accommodates to that. If I want to use a grid paper for all the lists, then I would have to have another insert. So in my notebook cover, I would have to have 3 different notebooks. And I have done that in the past, and I abandoned that because it was too thick. I know that part of that was also the notebook cover that I owned. I had a really chunky, not this slim format of the Traveler's Company or Midori notebook, but it was thicker leather. It had special inner pockets and an outside pocket. So I know that part of the reason why I felt like that was way too heavy, way too clunky, way too thick was because of the cover that I had those notebooks inside. So I don't own that notebook anymore. If I was going to use a cover, it would be just a regular standard size Traveler's notebook from Traveler's Company. And back then I didn't, I didn't use Tomoe River paper. First it rained, now my kids are home and I have to interrupt all the time. So what my problem is with this one that I had set up and intended to test out for this month of November is the paper. I am so used and so in love with the feel and the crinkly sound of this Stalogy paper that I just can't really wrap my head around this paper. And for instance, I have this monthly. This is just way too, sorry for the noise. I don't know, it's so thick. The lines, look at those lines compared to how I set up my monthlies in here. This is so much more in the background than this. This is so front and center. I don't really know I want that. So I would have to find another solution or hand draw my monthlies, which brings us to the next problem, which is that if I am planning on using a notebook where I have to put in a lot of labor to set it up, which I'm testing some weeklies in this A6 notebook because why? Maybe I can stay in here and this isn't even a problem. Then I need to take the time either at the beginning of the month to definitely put in the monthly and then also draw out all the weeklies. Either I do that all at the same time in the beginning of the month, or I will have to take the time every week to draw in a new monthly. So here is the first one, and I actually don't like how this turned out at all. This bugs me because this line is not on a grid line. Yeah, it's the tiny things. Then I tried and divide Saturday and Sunday like this. So I have 6 compartments, which enables this to be spaced evenly on the lines. Here it's not, but 7 different days. Then I also, because I still think that this is super tiny, so I can put in here 3 tasks, which is okay. I don't really need 20 million tasks per day because that's not necessarily achievable. But this makes the space very tiny. So I decided the last one was the idea to have Monday through Friday here and then Saturday and Sunday. That will give me less room for a weekly to-do list. But again, how attainable is a to-do list that is a full page? Is that actually, or attainable, is that actually achievable? So maybe I can just stay in this A6. I'm not sure I will keep the pen loops if I do. The standard does have some appeal because I just really love the size, and it definitely makes the space much bigger. Yeah, so that's the two options that I currently have, that I'm playing with and toying with. The idea, or with the addition of this notepad, I don't know where exactly that is going right now. I'm trying to keep myself, and that's another thing. I already know the items that I'm purchasing in November. I am not going to buy anything planner related for this. If I decide that I am moving to a different size, then I will purchase that after I have completed the trial run for November. There's still enough time in December to decide on what planner to use, what inserts I would want. I have the option of cutting down this A5 notebook and putting this in. That would mean that I hand draw. I haven't decided yet, and I mean, it's November 1st. I don't have any experience with either one. Maybe what I'm going to do is, after this week, I'm switching to this, just to see how this feels, if I can let go of the weird paper feeling, because that's not going to be the paper that I will be using in a standard size. Let me know your planner thoughts. Let me know your spending thoughts. You know that I struggle with this all the time, to find the right balance between wanting and spending. I still think that I'm on the right track. But yeah, let me know how your planning ideas are. If you think that having a notepad in a random box justifies switching up the whole planner system and rethinking everything that I'm doing. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. I hope I can piece this together so that it makes some sort of sense. I hope to see you soon. Until then, bye.